So piece number one, I want you to write this down somewhere. Winning clients. Again, if that's new language for you, I want you to start talking about winning. When you tell your kids or your spouse or your friends what you did this week, I want you to say you won when you signed a new client agreement. I won a new listing. I won a new buyer. I won a new client. Winning is like a mindset and a mentality. If you can kind of go back to sports or anything you felt like you won, it's a really good feeling, right? Like to win something feels fantastic. To get something, pretty good. To have something, okay, but winning is like a feeling. And then the word clients, super duper critical here too. Before I give you kind of like the definition and tell you what a client is versus a customer, why this language is super important, I want to tell you why this winning clients mindset is so important. If I asked you what mindsets you operate from, could you tell me? Do you name your mindsets? Give me like a nod if you do, or maybe like a shake if you don't, right? You probably don't. What if I told you, could you tell me who your kids are? They have names. Could you tell me what you ate last night? Food types have names. Could you tell me what you watched yesterday? Those have names. Like there are names for things that we understand, but you're not naming the most important things in your life. I can tell you there are multiple mindsets I operate from. And when it comes to working with buyers, I operate from a winning client's mindset, which means I'm constantly thinking about, questing for, and believing that I need to win this client. And this is language that you need to install in your business right now. And most likely, Traci, if the people on this call have not signed buyer's representation agreements, it's because they don't operate from this mindset. If the people on this call have ever taken someone for a bunch of homes to see, and then this person didn't work with you, it's because you weren't operating from this mindset. So I want you to start to get in the habit of naming your mindset. So when it comes to buyers, you operate with a winning client's mindset. And by the end of this, I think you'll be able to answer, maybe I don't do that yet, Traci, but I will. It's something I'm going to change. I'm going to adopt. This is one of the most valuable mindsets that's ever going to drive your buyer business. Okay, so now let's talk about clients, because a lot of real estate business owners and agents make this mistake when talking about it amongst themselves, even when talking about it with the people that they're servicing. Certainly, I've heard it a lot on this call, and I've even made the mistake before, but I want to give you the real definition and why this language is so important. Per the National Association of Realtors, NAR, the big membership the big organization we're all a member of, in the code of ethics, client means a person that has a signed agreement with a realtor or their firm, right? All agreements signed are with your firm, just so you know. But you and them signing an agreement means they're a client. They're not a client until they sign an agreement. So when it comes to buyers, the first agreement they have an opportunity to sign is your buyer's representation agreement or your buyer agency agreement. So all this time you've been calling people clients, you've been misleading them, you've been misleading yourself, you've been saying the wrong thing. It's not true. They're a customer when they have no contractual agreement or arrangement with you. They're not a client yet. Huge opportunity to change the way they think about you and the way they think about your relationship. So think of, and I want to be able to see the chat, so I'm going to stop my share for a second. Think of a place or a person that you are a client of. Who are you a client of, right? Probably if you have like an attorney or a CPA, there you go, Sarah, you're their client. Probably if you have a doctor or a dentist, you're their client. If you have a financial planner or a financial services person, you're their client. If you pay anyone for anything, you're their client, right? And it's a pretty defined relationship. A customer, people use it very interchangeably, but a customer is also like someone that's paying you for something, but you're probably like a customer of the person who cuts your grass. You're probably a customer of the person who delivers your, water bottles, your door dasher. Yeah, I had a customer today that was really nice and they gave me a $5 tip. Cool. But you're a client of that professional service provider. So there's a huge difference. And I'm going to give you a little hack that goes with the activity in a moment. I'm going to tell you exactly what I used to tell people that were buyers in my world. And the difference between being a client or customer for me meant, if you're a client, you have me and all of me as your professional partner 24/7 till we buy this house. That means you can call me anytime. That means you can text me anytime. That means I'm going to prioritize my responsiveness. That means I'm going to treat you and provide you with a certain level of service that I cannot provide every customer, every prospective buyer. And guess what, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer Client? I have a little whiteboard in my office that has your name on it. And it's either got client, you're either on the client side or you're on the customer side. And I only keep a handful of people on the client side. It means we have a signed agreement to work together. And these are my top focus. So guess who I'm thinking about on Monday mornings? You. Guess who I'm calling on Wednesdays to schedule tours to go out and see homes with? You. Guess who I'm prioritizing every single day? You, my clients. My customers, I cannot provide them the same level of service. I don't owe them per NAR code of ethics the same duties, fiduciary responsibilities, et cetera, et cetera. I cannot provide them confidential information. You know, all the things that you're doing for these customers that you think are your clients are likely not even the things you are allowed per NAR code of ethics to really be doing. Disclosing a bunch of private information, a bunch of sensitive stuff that's behind MLS paywalls, because they're not clients and you're just giving it to them freely. This is all a little bit of to create a fear of missing out. I'm not telling you completely change the way you do your business, but I am telling you to change the way you think and watch the way you conduct your business completely change. This is a powerful exercise for two reasons. Again, number one, it is going to help you stay organized and start to visually represent this new mindset shift, this mindset of winning buyers. And number two, it's going to make you not a liar when you tell a prospective buyer what I just told you I used to tell them. So you're going to build a client board. I've seen Wendy's on this call, actually, she's got like a whiteboard in her office. Many of you probably do. If you don't have a whiteboard, just use a notebook, just like put it in a book, but you can kind of call it your board. And I want you to just draw a line somewhere on that board. And to the left of the line, you're going to write people's names who have a signed agreement with you. And to the right of the line, you're going to write everybody else's. So if you're actively working with buyers right now and they have not signed anything to work with you, they're not a client yet, they're on the right side. You might be treating them like a client, good for you, providing high level of service to every prospective client, awesome, but they're not a client yet. And you have a huge opportunity to move people from the right to the left. And if you don't know what to do any given day of the week, you're going to look at that board and you're going to call someone that's on the right and you're going to take the necessary steps or challenge them to get into action with you to move them to the left. So a client board is a powerful tool. At my peak, I would say with a team of agents, we probably on average carried like 30 to 40 people on that left-hand side at a time because we had a process, a system that moves someone from a customer or a prospect to the actual client side. And then we could deliver the value proposition for those clients. So this is an action I encourage you to take. If you don't have people on the left yet, don't be discouraged. Just start to think about it this way and just watch what happens. You'll take a little different action when you think of people like clients and not just like customers. So that is a winning buyer mindset. I want to move people from names on a list to clients of mine.